And these are the Salvador Dali cards. Hold on just a second, and we shall see. These are the Salvador Dali cards. It's such a big deck. You know, how can you play with cards this size? It's too big. No. It's just, the packaging is so wonderful. And you can't feel it, you can just see it, right? But it's got this beautiful texture. And so let's open it. This is not an unboxing, by the way, because this is a birthday gift I got from someone who's very dear to me. And I couldn't even wait until my birthday. I had to unwrap it when I had the first chance. But look. So the first thing, big book, on Dali Tarot, which is excellent, because I actually used to have the original deck, and it was beautiful, but I didn't have a good guidebook to it. I know that there is the one by Rachel Pollack or something like that, which is really good. I even saw it once, but I didn't get it. But here we have a very good guidebook with, and it's a big one, right? So, boom. And it doesn't matter if you speak English, German, or French. It's in 3 languages. So it's a bit oversized, maybe. I think this is typical Taschen, right? They make this extravagant thing. It's like, ooh, it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. Taschen, you hear that? Sponsor? No, just kidding. I don't want any sponsor deals. Actually, every once in a while I get that little. Someone wants me to promote something, and I've said no, because it's like So someone actually wanted to give me jewelry in exchange for me putting it on my Instagram account, and it was quite tempting in one sense because it was jewelry. I really liked it. I honestly really liked it. So I thought, what would the harm be if I present this on my Instagram? But the truth is this. It's one thing if I had, bought it for my own money and I put it on the Insta. But if someone pays me to say that something is good, it becomes iffy. Um, it's like corruption, and corruption is bad. And so you hear that, all you Instagram influencers, you're corrupt and bad. Anyways, back to the real thing today. So this beautiful Dali Tarot. I used to own the very original one. I got it as it was released and at the Moderna Museum in Stockholm. And then when I was a dealer in rare books, I sold it. Bad mistake, bad mistake. So I'm so happy because I've missed the previous releases, right? So I'm so happy to finally have again in my possession the Dali Tarot. I'll just put this. This is the most oversized box. Now the boxes are so beautiful. It's impossible. You have to keep it, right? So this one is going to go into a bookcase somewhere, and this is the core content of this box. So yeah. Anyways, so this deck has amongst people who like the tarot. Oh yeah, the story behind the deck is also quite amusing. So James Bond, right, and Broccoli, the producer of James Bond, he commissioned Dali to make a tarot deck for some old James Bond movie. And after a while, they couldn't agree on the fee, so the story goes. And so Dali pulled out. And instead, in that James Bond movie, someone else got to design a deck, and it's, let's say, more traditional. Um, and then Roger Moore spreads out all those cards, and well, he makes the lady pull a card, and it's the lovers, and thus he seduces her, and then he spreads out all the cards, and you, as the viewer of the movie, see that, oh, they were all lover cards, so he tricked her. Well, anyways, that's. But Dali didn't quit. He went ahead and made all the cards of a tarot deck. And here's his version of the lovers. As you can see, this is not your usual tarot style. This is the surrealist take on tarot. And I've always thought that surrealism has something very deep in common with the tarot. I mean, the surrealists, they had this very strong connection with the unconscious mind. It's a funny thing. I'm actually, right now, I sit just like 500 meters away from the Freud Museum, which is the last place where Freud lived. And one day, Freud got to meet the, a couple of surrealists, and he had been quite disparaging of their take on the unconscious, but he wrote in one of his letters about this meeting that he was quite impressed, and especially by the young Spanish guy with the soulful eyes. Now, given the context, it's fairly obvious that he was referring to Salvador Dali. Anyways, so this is this beautiful, beautiful deck. I'll just show you a few cards. I can't be bothered to show you all. I just want you to get a feeling for how extremely beautiful these cards are. Temperance. This one is one that I really like. Death. And as you can tell, it's a totally different feeling. Everything is different than in a traditional tarot, but it's still the same. I mean, same, but different. This is the surrealist take on them. And this one, I like this version of the Hanged Man also. I've never quite understood this version of the Hanged Man. Maybe now the guidebook will help me with achieving this understanding. Because one thing with this guidebook is that you get the reference, and as much as I love hanging in art museums, I still don't recognize all the paintings that these cards come from. So here's an interesting one. If you're familiar with the tarot, the Seven of Cups. And you can see that this stays fairly close to the Waite Smith version, but the Christ-like figure, which is in one of the cups in the Waite Smith, here we have an empty cup instead, and the Christ is standalone. So it's like little transformed versions of the cards. Okay, so it's fair to show you this one also. Salvador Dali himself as the magician. Now, interesting to me, you can see here there are Hebrew letters, so obviously there's the Kabbalistic correspondence is marked out clearly. Here we have the sun, which may not be the traditional attribution. But yes, this is the more interesting part here. Normally, The magician is in front of a table with the four elements. Here, Dali is in front of a table, and one of the elements is the liquid time. Time, which is of course what some of Dali's work is focused on. Okay, so, and yes. Here he is as the king of coins. So one of the people who didn't like him, was it Breton, said Salvador Dolares. As if money was a bad thing. As if money was a bad thing. If you ask me, I think Salvador Dali is one of the truly great artists of the previous century. He ranks straight up there with Duchamp, Warhol, Picasso. Well, yeah. Picasso was a great artist too. And he made sure to become famous. There is not a contradiction between being a great artist and making your art known. I love this card also because, Dali wasn't always a successful painter, rich. When he was in New York with his wife Gala, they would sometimes just have the choice, shall we drink champagne or shall we eat? And they would always opt for the champagne. And I don't know what the morale of that story is, but I find it highly amusing. The king of coins. And he did pretty well for himself. So I like the quality of these reproductions. I don't have the original deck here to compare with. There's one difference. There's one striking difference, right? So the original was gilded, but hey. Oh, this is an interesting one. So I'll just use this one as an example. Actually, I'll use the next one as an example. So here we have the Two of Swords. Conventionally, it represents choice, and here we have a Christ-like figure wielding the two swords. As he is looking into the book of life. At least that's what I take this image to represent. So, Three of Hearts, the crushed dream or the heartbreak. This scene, I would take it to depict Perseus rescuing the beautiful virgin that has been set out to be sacrificed from a horrifying sea snake appearing from the depths. Now, I'm gonna check this one in the book actually. So I'll see if I can I place it here? No, I can't really place it here, but it's the Three of Hearts. And so first we have, of course, the majors, then we have the minor arcana, cups. Did I say Three of Hearts? I meant Three of Swords, of course, obviously. Two of Swords, Three of Swords. Okay, so it's an ingress. So I am shocked because here it says the name of the painting that is used is Roger Rescuing Angelica from the Louvre, and it's an ingress. Now, the reason this becomes so interesting is because these these paintings, once you know the source, you will know exactly, you will have the means to figure out exactly which mythological scene that Dali select in his representation of the tarot. And also, of course, obviously, there is an inherent expressive strength in these classical paintings. So, and reading now the comments from this from the guidebook, which is written by Johannes Fiebig. This is a powerful card, an homage to love and the liberating power of the mind. The card depicts the scene from the painting, Roger rescuing Angelica. As ever, the message is ambiguous. Perhaps a great abyss is opening up at the center of your heart, or maybe swords are about to free you from affliction and distress. So the picture is based on a classical motif of a battle with a dragon. And then comes the more conventional warnings against sticking to obsolete ideas and obsessing about them. But basically, it's a beautiful card, and it's a good example, I believe, of Dali's style. So he didn't, to be Captain Obvious, he didn't paint the images on the cards himself. Some he did, but this is a collage deck. And I understand someone questioned if we even could know that this was a product of Dali himself. And the thing is, he signed them. So I think it's fair to say whether it was by him or by any student in his atelier. I don't know how his workshop was set up in these regards. They were all considered good enough to be part of his tarot deck by he himself. Well, at least the ones he signed, because I notice now that I can't see his signature on all of them. Let me see. I'll find one other good card just to give you an idea. Did I show you already? The High Priestess. I don't think I showed you this one. I just find it beautiful. Okay, so that's the Dali deck, very recently reissued, and the presentation is absolutely amazing, and the deck itself extraordinary. And if you happen to like surrealism and classical art, so here, Two of Cups, I would guess that this is Amor and Psyche. Perfect as a motive for the Two of Cups. Then this deck is a gold mine.